Hello, Namaskar, Vanakkam. This is an important information video and this is specific for students of class 10 and class 12. And I would believe that even class 11 students would follow the same format of the new examination question paper pattern. So class 10, class 11, class 12 students, I would want you to pay attention to this video. Now, what the CBSE has said is that the kind of questions that will be asked in the board examinations for class 10 and 12 will undergo a change, especially that of class 12. Class 12 is where the changes are really taking place, and by extension, I would assume that even class 11 students would find their question papers tweaked a bit in order to prepare them for the class 12 examinations, which would happen the next year for you, that is 2026. So let's take a look at the circular which has been put out by the CBSE, and the idea is essentially to ensure that you move away from rote learning कि रट्टा मारने की जो आदत है उससे दूर हटके more application based questions, more understanding of concepts. And that's where I think our videos will be very useful, because we just don't do a basic anuvad from English to Hindi. What I try to do in my videos is to make you understand what the author is trying to say, what each line is trying to convey, what is the larger meaning and context of that particular idea or concept. So basically the idea is to make students think creatively and develop what they say a deeper appreciation for the subjects that you are studying. It could be any subject, it could be English, it could be any of the science subjects or commerce subjects also. So let's look at the circular. So that you know. So you can see the circular out there. It's put out by the CBSE. What it says is that it has taken multiple steps in order to have more competency-based education in schools. So that's the basic thing. The main emphasis is to move away from rote memorization and towards learning. That is towards more understanding of the concept. So what it essentially means is that the competency-based questions which were included, the percentage of them, those questions is going to increase. So how is it going to change for class 9 and 10? Class 9 and 10, there isn't much change in the sense that the competency, but you need to know it in any case, that the competency-based questions last year were 50%. This year also will be half the number of questions in your question paper. Okay, so competency-based questions. Then MCQ-based questions, 20 mark, 20%. This is again remaining at 20%. And the longer format at 30% of the paper, this time also it is going to remain at 30%. So 50, 20, 30, that is going to be the proportion of the composition of the question paper in your board examination for class 10, and class 9 also would follow the same format. Class 11 and 12 is where the change is taking place, especially with regard to the board examination. Now, last year in 23-24, you had 40% of the paper dealing with competency focused questions, which could be in the form of MCQs, case-based questions, source-based questions. That all was 40%. That has now been increased to 50% from the board examination of 2025. So please pay attention, class 12 students, and of course also class 11 students. The MCQ based response type questions, that will be 20% like last year. But the long format questions, which were at 40% last year, this time has been reduced to 30% of your question paper. Okay, so class 11 and 12 students need to pay attention, because the ratio of the kind of questions that will be asked has changed as far as your class is concerned. So you need to pay attention. So the percentage of such questions has changed. So there will be sample question papers which will always be put out by the CBSE. I will also be helping you with question paper test papers in the second half of the academic year, right here on CBSE with Sudhir. So that will really be helpful for you in order to prepare you actually for the thing. Sorry, the test papers will be put on our Study with Sudhir app. Okay, but I will announce it out here, and we will, before that, we will finish off with all the chapters and also the writing skills part of it, so that you are well prepared, and then we will go into the test papers that will be announced on the app. Okay, but as far as all the content, all the explanation video content is there, it will all be here on CBSE with Sudhir. Okay, so that was the information video that I wanted to tell you about. Very important, so that you are familiar with what are the changes that have been made. As far as your examination is concerned. Thank you very much. Tata. Bye bye.